If you have a podcast and you're not yet publishing SEO-rich content on your website to go along with these episodes, you're leaving free traffic and potential listeners on the table. Inside RightBlogger, we just built a brand new tool called the Podcast to Blog Post Generator that takes any podcast episode you've made, whether it's a link on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or even an episode transcript, an audio clip, a video clip you upload, and it will automatically generate an SEO-optimized blog post in your voice and style, geared to rank high in Google and be cited by the LLMs like ChatGPT. This is a great way to pick up more readers and listeners and increase the reach for the content you're already making. I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to start by pasting in the link to a recent podcast episode I listened to over on Spotify. It's Diary of a CEO, a really popular show. And so this process can work even if you're using someone else's podcast as the source material, as inspiration for the kinds of content you want to create. Just be sure to cite any sources you use throughout your content. Now, once you've pasted in this episode link to a podcast, you've got some options on style. You can select either an episode summary, key highlights, you can pull out a how-to tutorial style article, or just a straight up blog post style. There's a lot of options that I'll let you play around with here yourself, but all of these are designed around helping you to make sure that you're creating really SEO-rich content that reflects the subject matter of your episode. And I'm going to type in here into the primary keyword phrase, deep breathing techniques. This was kind of the core premise that I got from this episode with Wim Hof on Diary of a CEO. And I'm going to go ahead and click generate now. Once the article writer gets going here, you can see that the content's being added with some nice formatting elements, some headers, some bold, some list elements. These are all the sorts of SEO-rich things that both Google's algorithms and LLMs like ChatGPT are looking for to make sense of the content on your page. And again, this is a great way to repurpose everything you're already doing with your podcast. Now, last but not least, I want to show you how to get the most out of this content using RightBlogger's SEO report. This is the final last polishing step that's going to make sure you're actually setting this content up for the most SEO success possible. Now, you'll see here that the recommended keyword phrase is deep breathing techniques. That's exactly what my hunch was going into this, and I'm going to go ahead and create an SEO report now. What's happening behind the scenes when we make this SEO report is we're going out and we're crawling all of the top pieces of content that rank in Google search for deep breathing techniques. We're understanding what makes these pieces of content already rank so well. We're taking in factors like keyword density, the topics they mention, how many headings there are, the word count, all these elements that are in the really nitty-gritty details around content structure and what exactly Google and LLMs already like most about this content. Then the results of this report will reflect how you need to tune up your article in order to compete with those. And here we go. We can see straight out the gates, we're already doing pretty well with this content. We've got a 54% score. The goal of an SEO score is not to get to 100. You can overdo it on optimization. You really just want to land in the green range. Somewhere in the 80s or 90s is really good. And I'll show you how to use the auto improve button here in a minute to automatically get your content optimized even better for SEO and LLMs. But real quick, let me show you how this report functions because this is super important. Here are the exact sources that we created this SEO report based around. So anytime you want to click in and see what one of these sources will look like, you can click on one of these, it'll open in a new tab, and you can gather some insights from these pieces of content. Let's do a quick scroll. We're in the green ranges for most of these key content structure factors. And so this particular SEO report is just going to be doing a lot of updates based around the missing keywords and topics that aren't yet mentioned inside this article. So based on those keyword gaps, we want to click auto improve. And what's happening now behind the scenes when you're auto improving the SEO for your article is we're building an entire in-depth plan based on all of these insights around content structure, missing keywords, the topics, the sections that aren't yet in this article, but need to be in order to position your content for any type of traffic success. And we're going to actually implement that for you in just about a minute. And boom, here we go. We just auto improved this article up to a 94% SEO score. That is right in the sweet spot. This report did a really good job with the auto update and things that changed. You can see the word count went up a bit. We've got some more headings, some more paragraphs. And in the keyword section, we now have no keywords that aren't being covered that the report says are important from an SEO perspective. So we've accomplished our job here. We've got some keyword phrases that are maybe mentioned a few too many times throughout here, but honestly, for an article that's on breathing techniques, a lot of mentions of breathing is just gonna be expected. So something like that's okay. Take all this stuff with a grain of salt. You know, if mentioning breathing exercises 4 times in an article is what naturally happens, that's gonna be okay. These reports are really useful as guidelines to help you optimize and get your content ready. And this article now looks ready. If I were Steven and this was my podcast, Diary of a CEO, I would take this episode from Winhoff and I would publish a post on my blog of this content. And to make it even easier inside RightBlogger, you can one-click send it straight to your WordPress connected site. We also integrate with Ghost, with Webflow, other CMSs, and you can always just go ahead and copy the content in different types of format, paste it over if you're using a different CMS, and you'll be ready to go. You now have an SEO optimized article based off a podcast episode you already recorded. And that's the real power of repurposing your content like this, is that you increase the reach, the possibility to get in front of more readers, more listeners, more viewers by pushing your content out on more platforms. Last but not least, here in the Learn tab of RightBlogger, we've got a bunch of content that will help teach you how to do these processes and techniques more effectively. Over on the blog, we've got courses, we've got a YouTube channel, we've got a Discord community, and in the courses, you can see here, I highly recommend taking our SEO Mastery course. This is everything we've learned from more than 20 years of collective experience working in SEO. And we've got a lot of content in here too about learning how to get cited and source as a source inside the LLMs like ChatGPT as well. So if you've got a podcast that you have yet to publish paired blog posts with, you're missing out on real traffic and listenership opportunities. Please use this tool today.